Hi everyone, my name is Frankie and welcome to a Movie a Day Challenge. Today is day number 311 and it's November 7th, 2018. Today I'll be watching the 1968 Western film Hang 'em High. Now, in each episode of a Movie a Day Challenge, I pick one film that I've never seen before. And then I take that movie's movie poster and place it to the side of me. I do this because I absolutely have no idea of what the film that I'm about to watch is about. And being that I've absolutely no clue about the film or what it's about, I feel like I need to draw some type of conclusion of what I think the film may be about, based solely on the movie poster itself. In saying this, let's go ahead and take a look at the 1968 Western film movie poster to Hang 'em High. Now, continuing on the third day of the Clint Eastwood week for a Movie a Day Challenge, we have this really cool looking movie poster right here. It's basically an image of Clint Eastwood behind what is a rope, a noose as they would call it. A noose is what they hang people with. First off, this looks pretty cool. I mean, you got Clint Eastwood and a noose in its movie poster. We already understand what the title of the film's all about because Hang 'em High means basically hanging someone. And being that it's all about the West, we know someone, possibly a bad guy, is going to get hanged. And to make that description from the movie poster itself, I'm interested in watching the film. Well, Clint Eastwood and also the Old West, plus the fact that I might get to see someone, possibly a bad guy, get hanged, it's pretty cool. I'm going to be honest with you. The movie poster and yet alone the movie title alone has me intrigued to enjoy this film. I'm looking forward to sitting down and enjoying the 1968 Western film, Hang 'em High. Now, after I finish analyzing the movie poster itself, I then let you, the viewer, know that I'm going to go ahead and watch Hang 'em High. But before I go and do that, I want to let you, the viewer, know that after I finish watching Hang 'em High, I then come back and tell you a little bit about the film. However, I don't go in great detail about the movie. You see, I don't release any major spoilers about the film, nor do I tell you anything about the movie's plot either. Why? Well, because I don't want to ruin your chance at watching a really great film for the first time. And since this is also my first time watching Hang 'em High, I wouldn't want anyone to spoil the film for me by telling me any major spoilers about the movie, or tell me anything about the movie's plot either before I actually go ahead and watch the film myself. I want you to enjoy this film for what it is, and be entertained by it. That's the sole purpose for a Movie a Day Challenge. Now, in case you have previously seen the 1968 Western film, Hang 'em High previously, then please, feel free to substitute Hang 'em High for another film for your viewing pleasure. This way you can take part in a Movie a Day Challenge and possibly watch each film along with me as I go along. In saying that, I'm going to go ahead right now and watch the 1968 Western film, Hang 'em High, and then I'm going to come back and tell you a little bit about the film. I'll be right back. I just finished the 1968 Western film Hang 'em High, and I want to let you, the viewer, know that Hang 'em High is a great movie. The overall story to this film, and the way it is shown on screen, is really beautiful. And to be quite honest, the film in itself gets you to think about how crazy things have been back in the Old West. Now, during this time, in the beginning of this episode, I basically thought that, Hang High movie poster with the noose over there was going to be really cool to see. When you actually see what goes on with the way people get killed and get hung, it's sort of, I want to say, it's not terrifying, it's more of a very strong presence in your life. Because there are people who get hanged in this movie, and when you witness it, it lasts. It's something that, makes an impression on your life. Now, hanging is not a cool thing. I meant the overall idea of, man, this must be really cool to, go out and be someone who goes ahead and does the stuff of hanging. I was wrong. It's really a terrible act to see someone, when it's actually shown in the movie itself, have this happen to them. So please don't think that I'm some kind of crazed person towards the hanging stuff. It actually changed my mind towards the overall presence of oh man, this is going to be really cool, to, wow, this is going to make an impact on me. You know, the way they also present these hangings is very dramatic. You know, they don't just sugarcoat anything in this. There are scenes in this that show you what's going to go on, and how it leads up to the stages of it. And when you witness it and you see people basically break down and hurt, it gets to you. And you feel that sorrow, you feel that sympathy coming out. And that is not only great storytelling, but it's terrific acting as well. Because to get that to come over to a viewer, that's really what you want to achieve. I was very much entertained by this film. It is a really great movie. Now to talk about the film in general. The story to it is truly cool. I mean, I don't want to say it gives anything towards the word revenge, because I don't want to use the word revenge in this review. This is a story within itself about how someone basically goes out and does what he has to do in order to set things right. Not in the way of revenge. Because revenge is basically going out and doing something in your own set of rules. There is something totally different with the character that Clint Eastwood plays. There is something, there's something very strong within the character, but as well as you feel for him. You feel for him because in certain ways of his overall presence in the movie, you feel that he has this job to do, but also you feel for him because stuff has happened to him and you just want him to succeed and do what's right. Now, although this is a great movie, I really felt that the ending of the film and the way it ended just didn't live up to my expectations. I really thought the climax of the film could have been much higher. And the overall ending of the film itself could have been written a little better. I really felt, now I'm going to say this, I know many films say like, whoa, you know, this is a little bit too much in time. The film itself goes underneath 2 hours. I really felt this film should have gone above that, been at least 2 hours and 15 minutes, maybe even 2 hours and a half. I really felt that there was more towards this story that should have been explained, because there are some loopholes, not loopholes, but plot holes in this movie that needed further explanation for it. And I really thought if they would have answered it, a lot of things would have made more sense. Overall, Clint Eastwood does a terrific job. He really does. And for a movie in the 60s, to be this strong with like an impact towards films, I know I've not seen that many Westerns, especially like in a long genre of years, not genre, but a long decade of years from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and so on. But even though I haven't seen many Westerns in my life, this one with the subject of hanging and death, it does give you an impact. So be warned. Also, here's another thing. In the film itself, there is another dog who gets shot. You do not see it. You just see a dog on the floor. I'm just telling you this because there are people who do love animals who watch these reviews. And if there's something that goes on, as I say, with nudity, with younger members of the audience, how you should just be forewarned before time. If you're not comfortable with seeing that, don't put on the movie. That's what I'm going to say here. But you don't see the animal get shot. You don't hear any screeching or anything like that. It just happens. That's it. You're basically just there to look at something 1 minute and then look at something the next. That's all. But aside from that, I really enjoyed watching this film. Would I recommend it to a family member or a friend? Yes, I would. I definitely would recommend Hang 'em High to a family member or a friend. Would I watch Hang 'em High again? Yes, I would. I really enjoyed this movie, and I thought the film had an overall great production, which it does, as well as great acting, a great story, and I really enjoyed the overall action in the film itself. There is blood in this movie, but it's not that much. And when it comes to the hanging parts, aside from one scene that dealt with cuts around the neck, everything else you don't see. But just understand this, the film is very tasteful, and I really enjoyed watching it. Now, if you like today's episode, you see that thumbs up underneath this video? Click it, give us a like for today's episode. As you're doing that, maybe you've seen the 1968 Western film Hang 'em High and liked it. Maybe you've seen it and you didn't like it. Maybe you're interested in watching the film. You're hearing my review about the movie. You're going to go watch the film after watching my review and then come back and write something. Well, whichever the three may be, please tell me in the comment box down below. Right down there. And as you're doing that, you see that word subscribe underneath this video? Click it. Subscribe to A Movie A Day Challenge. Now, tomorrow is day number 312 of A Movie A Day Challenge, and I'll be watching the 1992 Western film Unforgiven. My name is Frankie. Tomorrow we continue with the Clint Eastwood week of films, and I will be here tomorrow for day number 312. And the 1992 Western film Unforgiven. I will see you tomorrow.